Hello everybody. In this lesson I will discuss linear equations which contains fractions, and I will do the examples below. The simplest equation to solve is a linear equation. This is an equation where the highest exponent of the variable is 1. The question is solve for a, and then I give you that. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get rid of the bracket, and we say we use the distributive property of multiplication. And this means you will multiply in the 7 into both. Therefore, it becomes 7a minus 7 equals, and I did exactly the same on the right hand side. I also used the distributive property of multiplication and I multiplied in the 5. Therefore, 5a minus 10. Then I will get all the a's on the left hand side and all the numbers, we call them constants, on the right hand side. So it becomes 7a minus 5a equals minus 10 plus 7. On the left hand side, 7a minus 5a is 2a, and on the right hand side, negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. And then we divide away the 2 both sides, and we end with a is negative 3 over 2, and if you want to, you can write it as a is minus 1.5. Next question, solve for a. So now there's a fraction and we want to get rid of the denominators. And then there's one number that can help us to get rid of all three, the 4, the 3 and the 2, and that is the number 12. So we say the LCD is 12. And then in the next step, what do? We take the 12, the LCD, and we will multiply every single term by 12. And please note the use of brackets. Then I will cancel out and I will say 4 goes in itself once, 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 goes in itself once, 3 goes into 12 4 times. 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes into 12 6 times. And then I'm left with 3 bracket a plus 2 minus 4 bracket a minus 6 equals 6. The next step, I will get rid of the brackets by doing the distributive property of multiplication. That means I will take the 3 and distribute it into the brackets. Therefore, 3 times a is 3a, 3 times 2 is plus 6. Then the next term, negative 4 times a is minus 4a, and negative 4 times negative 6 is plus 24. The next step, I will add my like terms. 3a minus 4a is negative a, and then plus 6 plus 24 is 30 equals 6. And then let's solve a. 30 walks across, it becomes 6 minus 30, which is negative 24. And then I don't want negative a, I want a. Therefore, I divide both sides by a negative, and I end with a is equal to 24. Solve for p, and then I give you an equation. Now you will find that under the line there's a variable. So again, as the denominator, we will find the LCD, and the LCD in this case is p. Then you also find a restriction when there's a variable under the line, and the restriction is that p cannot be equal to 0. That is, anything you find as the denominator cannot be equal to 0. Then there's the sum. Now we multiply every term by the LCD. So 5 times p, the second term minus 7 over p times p, and then on the other side times p. Then 5 times p is 5p, and then p and p will cancel, and I'm left with -7. And then on the right hand side, p and p will cancel, and I'm left with 2 bracket p plus 4. Then in the next step, I will multiply in the 2, therefore it will be 2 times p is 2p, and 2 times 4 is 8. So 5p minus 7 is equal to 2p plus 8. Then in the next step, the 2 go across and it becomes -2p, and then the -7 will go across and it becomes plus 7. Then we add like terms again. 5p minus 2p is 3p, and 8 plus 7 is 15. And then I want to solve p. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and I get p is 15 over 3. And then I say 3 goes in itself once, 3 goes into 15 5 times. Therefore, p is equal to 5. Solve for x. Again, there's variables under the line, therefore we find an LCD. And then the LCD here will be 6x. That is the number that will get rid of all the variables under the line. In the next step, so what I do is, I will multiply every term by 6x. All three on the left and on the right. I multiply. Then I will say x and x cancels. 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes into 6 3 times. And I'm left with 3 times 5 is 15. Then the next term, 6 and 6 will cancel, x and x will cancel, and I'm left with plus 1. The next term, x and x will cancel, and then minus 6 times 3 is -18, equals to, on the right hand side there's nothing that can cancel, therefore I'm left with 6x times 2 is 12x. Now in the next step I will add like terms, so 15 plus 1 is 16 minus 18 is 12x, and then I say 16 minus 18 is -2 is equal to 12x. And then I want to solve x, therefore divide by 12 this side, divide by 12 that side, and I'm left with -2 over 12, and this one can go further. 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes into 12 6 times. So the answer, x is -1 over 6. Solve for b. And now you find that there's a 4 over b minus 3 under the line. This thing is bound together and there's a b. So your LCD will be b bracket b minus 3. And then the restriction will be b cannot be 0. It's for this term. And then where does the b cannot be 3 come from? It comes from the b minus 3. What you do is you write b minus 3 cannot be equal to 0, and then you solve b. So b cannot be equal to 3. That is where that restriction comes from. So into my sum, 4 over b minus 3 is equal to 2 over b. So now I multiply every term by the LCD. So it's b bracket b minus 3 and b bracket b minus 3. Therefore, b minus 3 and b minus 3 can cancel. I'm left with 4b. And then b and b can cancel. And I'm left with 2 bracket b minus 3. So in the next step, I'm going to multiply in the 2. And it becomes 4b is equal to 2 times b is 2b. And 2 times -3 is -6. And now all the b's on one side. So 4b minus 2b is -6. And I say 4b minus 2b is 2b is equal to -6. And then to solve b, divide by 2. What I do on the left, I do on the right. Therefore, b is equal to -6 over 2, which is b is equal to -3. And it's a valid answer since the restriction was b cannot be 0 or 3. In the next video, I will discuss quadratic equations. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson.